Hey guys, Adam here. Hello. I thought I'd share with you a video. I share lots of stuff on Facebook, lots of writing, and I thought it's time to start sharing videos. I know I've said it before, but these things kind of happen, and I just never felt that it was kind of the right time. I think there was a program still operating whereas I was still kind of feeling to put myself in a vulnerable position to share what I'm sharing with you now. There was still that concern of what other people thought. When you put yourself out there on the line, there could be that potential program that runs to create self-doubt or lack of action, procrastination, this type of thing. So yeah, here I am now sharing a video with you. I hope in some way you'll find it useful. It's a theme that I've noticed come up in conversations recently. Conversations I've had with people are all to do with this type of thing I'm about to explain with you, and it's absolutely insane when we look at the insanity of the ego and how actually it becomes a very slippery genius, and it acts so subtly, and we do things so innocently, and these things that we do, they think that we think that they're going to make things better. They think that we think that they're going to make the experience of life easier, and unfortunately it is kind of a trap. It's a loop that we go around in, and we go around and we go around and we go around and we go around, and we're always convinced that there's going to be an end point or some destination, that when we arrive there it's going to be this blissful Garden of Eden paradise type of experience. When a question of lack, let's say a question of lack arises, and it goes, I don't know, I need to be doing this, or I want to be doing this to feel complete, I want to do this to become happy, I want to do this to become less stressed, I need to stop doing this because it makes me unhappy. All of these types of questions can be asked, and usually what would follow that question would be a strategy that somebody would deploy to try to change the situation of where they are now. So for example, if I want to become more happy, I would look at ways and means of making myself more happy. Unfortunately, most people mistake happiness with pleasure. Most people are seeking a pleasurable experience to feel comfortable in the moment, whereas happiness is a state of being. It's very different. And when I kind of learned this is when things became, let's say that life is not always, a wise man once told me, the elevator is not always high. Sometimes the elevator will come down and we'll feel low, or low feelings will be showing up in the moment, is a better way to put it. So the elevator will come down, so it's a bit of a delusion to believe that actually life is always going to be sunshine and rainbows anyway. But the interesting point here that I would like to make with you is, who is the one asking that question? Or what is the thing that is asking that question? So if you have some knowing, some understanding that we are a soul, we are an energetic being having a human experience beyond the physicalness of what you see and what we receive through our five senses. So the five senses are our receptors, and that's how we receive information. That's how we then see the world. So we absorb, we interpret, and then we project outwards. So for example, I want to become more happy. So I want to become more happy is a question that is not coming from your soul. It's a question that is not coming from your energetic body. It's a question that is not coming from your higher self. It is a question that is coming from the realms of lack, the realms of insecurity, the realms of fear, the realms of self-judgment, and the place or the thing that is asking the question, this is where it gets really funny. So the thing that is asking the question, so I want to become more happy, will look to the thing for validation. So we can call it the mind, we can call it the ego, and again, these are just labels. So I think we'll just go with the term the mind or the ego, wherever it comes up. So for example, the mind is saying, okay, I need to become more happy. So then the strategy is deployed, and most people then go out to try to become more happy. They do this, they do this, they do this, and they realize that it's never really touching the spot. It's never really giving them that thing that they're really looking for. So you can get into a really intense, pleasurable experience that can last for 1 day, 1 hour, 1 week, 1 year, whatever it may be, whatever it may be. But it's temporary. Pleasure is temporary. Pleasure goes, and then the search starts again. So what is happening in these moments is that the mind is asking the mind to make itself feel happy. So you have insanity asking insanity to be sane. Does that make sense? So insanity is asking insanity about sanity. Insanity is asking insanity about sanity. The other day I posted on Facebook, the noise generated by the ego cannot be solved by the noise generated by the ego. So this is the loop that we get caught in. And this loop will go on and on and on and on and on until one becomes aware of the dynamic that is in play. The dynamic, once you see it, it's like a slap in the face, because we realize we put a lot of energy and a lot of focus and a lot of intention into becoming a better version of ourselves, but unfortunately it leads more people into suffering. So for example, let's say that I project that I want this and want this and I want this to become complete. If I don't get that, then I start judging myself. So there's an extra layer added into that. So for example, it is the ego who's saying, I want. But then when you don't get what you want, it is the ego who's judging itself and not getting what it wants. And you're the one observing all this going on. So in actual fact, you've got two bouts of energy going for each other. And, well, okay. This dynamic is very, very interesting. I can see how I've been caught up in this rotation, this big loop that's been going around and around and around, or a spiral, depends on how you want to look at it. So interestingly, I mean, what is the answer then? What is the answer? What is the question? Once we start to become more of our true essence, once we start to live more authentically, we start to notice that actually happiness it's the natural. Yeah, happiness. Okay, sometimes situations don't require, not all situations you're going to be happy, and that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that there's this feeling, or maybe peace is a better way to look at it. There's always this peaceful knowing, understanding, peaceful being happening all the time when this chaoticness is going on in front, or behind, or wherever. It's actually not in here. I was writing something earlier that I'll share over the next few days around can the thoughts be yours, and where do thoughts actually exist? Do they exist in the mind, or are we identifying with something that is external? When you feel a real strong, I need to do this, or I need to do that, I need a drink, is vastly different to go, I need to become a better person. Okay, it's quite obvious that we need water to survive. So just be mindful of your language, because your language is your representation of what is going on in the thought structures. And I need a drink of water sounds okay. I need to go to the shop to get some food, or I need to blah, 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 whatever it may be. It's vastly different. When you find yourself saying, I need to do this, I need to do that, bring awareness into the present moment. You are here always in the present. And bring awareness to this here now, and look, who's the one asking the question? What is the thing that is asking the question? And can the thing that is asking the question actually be found anyway? I mean, you look around and you can say that I have this, I'm going to give you an example. I have a singing bowl, I have feathers, I can see objects. And then let's go a little bit bigger. I have an apartment. I have shoes on. I'm in the Netherlands. These are things that we can objectively say. But when I go on, I am Adam. Well, where is that Adam existing? I mean, this is the body. This is just a body that is doing its best for me to keep me alive and to give me the best possible human experience. But Adam, where? I wasn't definitely born in Adam. Were you born your name? Or were you given a name? Were you given that identity, then you thought it was you and you believed it to be you? So that's a really good thing to explore and to contemplate when you're having these moments of suffering or moments of uncomfortableness is to try to identify what is the thing that is suffering, who is the thing that is, what is suffering, who is suffering, and where they're all happening to. If you can bring awareness and contemplate these questions, you will start to notice there will be a separation that will occur. And the separation will be enough for awareness to start to burn away whatever it needs to burn away. People have this very big complex about, I need to sort this problem, I need to do this, I need to get to the root so I can solve it. I agree sometimes that you can go to the root of the problem to find out the reason why it happened. Sometimes that is useful. But again, it is the mind that is leading the proceedings and saying that if we do this, then we're going to get a resolution to what we want. But instead of allowing a space to be created and awareness to show up and burn away, is a more, what's the word? You trust in something which is not, you trust in something which is of a higher vibration. You're creating a space between what you think you are, and then you're allowing awareness to burn away what is no longer needed for you in this moment. So I think just to summarize here and just to give you the key points, the questions that will be asked by the ego will look to the ego for the answer. So the ego asks the question and it will look to the ego for the answer. And the answer will be found sometimes. Sometimes you'll get what you want. And then what you'll notice is that the ego will begin to ask more questions. And if you're coming from a place of, not coming from a place, if there's suffering showing up for you at the moment and you're deploying strategies to try to become less depressed, less anxious, less stressed, wherever it may be, wherever suffering is showing up, suffering is suffering. It comes in a few different forms. The quickest way to really cut to the chase, because anything that you try, and without sounding really, really critical, lots of therapies are ineffective. They employ ineffective methods, and it's like the blind leading the blind. I'm not saying this is the be all and end all or the ultimate way, but I can only speak from my experience to come from a place where I used to be stressed a lot, I used to worry a lot, I used to be a lack of confidence, and I've kind of realized that what I used to do to try to become a better version of myself would actually, in actual fact, create a reverse to what I actually wanted. So the only way I found to become really who I am and to do truly what I want and live the life that I really want to live is to become aware of what I am not. Once you see that what is being displayed is not you on the most fundamental level, once you see it's not you on the most fundamental level, the space created is enough to give you that piece. It lights a spark, and that spark creates a fire, and that fire burns and burns and burns, and you just keep on getting epiphany after epiphany, download of information, something will land and you're, it's just a constant then learning, undoing, unwinding, becoming present, noticing what's going on, what's the dynamic. Because once you really start to pay notice to the dynamic of the ego, you'll start to see all the elements of where it pulls your energy into suffering and where it pulls your energy into confusion. So just be mindful of the strategies that or be mindless of the strategies that you're deploying at the moment. Things that you're searching for, I want this, I need this, it's coming from a place of, I heard a word the other day, soul poverty. It is the soul crying out, and it's the soul crying out to be discovered, and the ego will take control and it will manipulate the process to make it feel like you want to get objects or experiences, when in actual fact it is the soul wanting to discover. It is a soul. It is a recognition of what you truly are. It is a realization that you were always here, and it is a realization that you were never that. Yeah, I hope it's been useful in some way. Please let me know what you thought about it, what you felt about it. If you liked it, if you hated it, I want to hear what you just feel. So yeah, namaste guys, I love you, and I hope you have a blessed day, evening, whatever part of the world you're in. Namaste.